Welcome to the Yaka Digital Network. If you stand on this street in Kampala at rush hour, the country feels completely out of space. But drive a few hours north into the dry plains, and you'll find vast stretches of land with almost no one around. This uneven spread of people across a map is called population distribution. It tells us where people actually live. To understand exactly how tightly packed those people are, we measure population density, the exact mathematical calculation of individuals living within a single square kilometer. This map shows the reality of Uganda's layout today. The glowing clusters reveal millions of people packed tightly into the Lake Victoria crescent, while massive sections of the country remain practically empty. Uncovering the reasons behind these clusters is the first step in understanding the pressure building on our geography, and what happens when specific areas can no longer support the numbers. Thoughtfully, nature originally drew the borders of human settlement. Steep, rugged mountain peaks, like the upper slopes of the Rwenzori, naturally repel human activity. You simply cannot build homes or farm on sheer rock. Compare that to the volcanic soils of Mbale and Kasoro. Reliable rainfall and fertile ground act as a magnet, drawing dense populations who rely on the land for intensive agriculture. Human history reinforces these physical borders. Early centers of colonial administration and trade, like Jinja and Entebbe, attracted initial infrastructure and remain heavily populated today. Nature and history laid down the original blueprint, but rapid human multiplication is currently overwriting that ancient map. This chart shows the demographic transition model, plotting how a country's population changes as its economy develops. Right now, Uganda sits right between stages 2 and 3. Notice what happens in this phase. Better hospitals and modern medicine mean death rates fall sharply, but birth rates stay high. The resulting gap creates a rapid surge in total numbers. Look at this population pyramid detailing our age structure. The broad base represents a massive youth bulge, millions of citizens under the age of 15. This heavy base creates a high dependency ratio. A small slice of working adults in the middle must stretch their wages to support the enormous number of children below them. When that many children need schools, clinics, and eventually a piece of family land that isn't large enough to divide again, the resulting pressure forces millions to pack up and move. This mass movement from rural villages to cities is called urbanization. It begins with push factors, the harsh realities that drive people away from their homes. As parents divide their farmland among many children, the individual plots become too small to feed a family. Facing rural poverty and relying entirely on heavy manual labor, young people look for an exit. They are drawn toward the cities by pull factors, the perceived social and economic benefits of urban life. Migrants head to places like Kampala or Jinja, expecting to trade a hand hoe for an industrial paycheck, hoping for access to paved roads, reliable piped water, and modern secondary schools. But when hundreds of thousands arrive at once, the city's infrastructure often cannot keep pace. The result is the rapid growth of informal settlements, where basic sanitation and clean water are a constant struggle. Moving to the city is a rebalancing of survival. People are chasing the resources that their home villages can no longer provide. Every country faces the same mathematical test, the population-resource ratio. Do we have enough physical resources to support our current and future numbers? When people exceed the carrying capacity of the land, you get overpopulation. In the Kijizi Highlands, extreme crowding forces farmers to continuously work steep slopes, draining the soil of nutrients and causing severe erosion that ultimately lowers their crop yields. The opposite end of the spectrum is underpopulation. In parts of the ranching corridors, vast tracts of natural resources sit idle, because there simply isn't enough human labor available to manage them effectively. The ideal state is the optimum population, where the number of citizens perfectly aligns with the available resources, maximizing the standard of living for everyone. Maintaining this balance across every region determines whether a growing population becomes an engine for development or a significant strain on the country's survival. So put yourself in the shoes of the Minister of Planning. You have a limited budget to manage this demographic pressure. Do you choose option A, funding massive agricultural training to help rural youth build wealth on their farms and stop the migration? Or option B, building brand new satellite cities outside Kampala to absorb the incoming migrants? Option A targets the root cause by directly addressing land pressure. However, it requires overcoming cultural attitudes that often view farming as low-status work compared to a city job. A large youth population is a powerful asset, human capital capable of driving an economy, but only if managed through education and job creation. Thanks for learning with the Yaka Digital Network. For more resources on population geography, visit yaka.cc.